fight, trying to see where the life take me, so I roll the dice. Look up to no one else, but yeah, I was shy. I got real power, Hebrew Israelite.
Spiritual level, paving that way so when the Lord comes, so like the brother was going into, we can be ready for that marriage. You know what?
And the light shineth in darkness, and the darkness comprehended it not. Right. There was a man sent from God, his name was John. Right. The same came for a witness, to bear witness of the light, that all men through him might believe. He was not that light, but was sent to bear witness of that light. That was the true light, which lighteth every man that cometh into the world.
Right. And when Yahushua comes, most definitely he's going to be that true light that really light up the whole world. Give me Revelation 22 and verse 1. All right, Revelation 22 and verse number 1. And when the Lord sets up this kingdom, again, Yahushua being that true light, he's going to have his light so forth shine throughout the four corners of the earth.
Right.
It's not going to be that darkness and that gloominess like how it is now in Babylon the Great.
Right.
Like brothers always say, you got to get up early, you got to damn pay the bills 24/7, you late on bills. And peradventure, you good on funds, you still got the worldly things to think about. Right? Family members getting killed, your loved ones dying close to you. You got to deal with death, you got to deal with mourning, your physical ailments. It's everything in this world just leads back to something negative for the so-called black and Hispanic man.
Right.
But again, that's why the Lord has to come back and show us that true light, right? To show us how to really feel, to let us truly feel how it feels to be a king on the earth. Because right now we call ourselves kings, but we don't have our own land.
Right.
We don't have our own dominion, our own inheritance, our own slaves. But again, that's going to truly be given to us once that true light comes. Read this.
This is the book of Revelation, chapter 22 and verse 1.
Bring it out.
And he shewed me a pure river of water of life, clear as crystal, proceeding out of the throne of God.
Talking about the kingdom of heaven. Now, water being the word, read on.
And of the land in the midst of the street of it, and on either side of the river.
And you're going to have the lamb. That lamb is Yahushua. Being in the midst of the city. Read on.
Was there the tree of life, which bare 12 manner of fruits, and yielded her fruit every month, and the leaves of the tree were for the healing of the nations. And there shall be no more curse, but the throne of God and the Lamb shall be in it, and his servants shall serve him.
And we're the servants. We're going to serve Yahushua, who's that true lamb, read on, in the kingdom of heaven. Read on.
And they shall see his face, and his name shall be in their foreheads, and there shall be no night there, and they need no candle, neither light of the sun.
And that's parabolic. It's not going to say, okay, we literally don't need a light. It's never going to be nighttime. No, when it says we don't need that light nor a candle, it's saying that we don't need the light of this world. Hey, sisters, y'all got 1 minute for the Lord? 1 minute to learn your nationality? For Christ? Read on.
For the Lord God giveth them light, and they shall reign forever and ever.
And now the Lord, he's that true light. So where it's going to seem like we don't really need the sun. We don't really need that moon by night. Because the Lord, parabolically, he's going to be shining in the midst of us 24/7. Give me the classic, Ecclesiastes 8:1. All right, Ecclesiastes chapter 8 on verse number 1, the classic. And again, that's that true light. And we're here to bear record of that light the same way how John did through the Spirit. Read this.
Ecclesiastes chapter 8 and verse 1. Who is as the wise man, and who knoweth the interpretation of a thing? A man's wisdom maketh his face to shine.
Lord said a man's wisdom, that's what he's going to make his face to shine. And Yahushua is that spirit of wisdom. Read Proverbs the 8th chapter, sorry, the 24th chapter. And see how wisdom was always from the beginning. As a matter of fact, get Sirach 24 and verse number 1. All right? Sirach 24 and verse 1. And we're going to see how wisdom was always from the foundation. And again, the Lord, he is that wisdom. He is that light. That king and that prince that's going to bring forth the light to the nation of Israel.
Right.
Because again, what light or light do we have nowadays? Right? The most light Jacob's getting is them being a sports player, a rapper. Right? Selling your soul to freak off with Diddy and to get a couple dollars out of it. Right? Freak off with all these different elites, these wicked men, just to have your light shine amongst the inhabitants of the world on the left-hand side, like Lucifer.
Right.
Right? Say what?
Limelight.
Right, that limelight spirit. That's all. Read this.
It's the book of Sirach, chapter 24 and verse 1.
Bring it out.
Wisdom shall praise herself and shall glory in the midst of her people.
Talking about wisdom, you know what?
In the congregation of the Most High shall she open her mouth and triumph before his power. I came out of the mouth of the Most High and covered the earth as a cloud. I dwell in high places, and my throne is in a cloudy pillar.
And again, on one fold, it's just talking about wisdom, but spiritually it's going into Yahushua.
Right.
Because who has that throne right next to the Most High is Yahushua.
Right.
Who's in that temple? The Lord. You know what?
I alone compassed the circuit of heaven and walked in the bottom of the deep, in the waves of the sea, and in all the earth, and in every people and nation I got a possession. With all these I saw rest, and in whose inheritance shall I abide? So the Creator of all things gave me a commandment, and he that had made me caused my tabernacle to rest.
It said, cause my tabernacle to rest. We go into the Lord. We read the book of Revelation. Who's in that tabernacle? It's the Most High and it's Yahushua. And it's the angels bringing forth the incense in that tabernacle. The angels are praising the Lord in that tabernacle. That's how we know that on a spiritual level, that wisdom is going into the Lord. All right, give me Wisdom of Solomon chapter 7 and verse number 7. Right? Start at verse 15, I believe I want. Wisdom of Solomon 7 and verse number 15. So again, it's that true light. Because again, we're so used to the light of the world being pushed out. Having the fancy cars, having the nice buildings, having all the women having all the men. Yeah, on the carnal level, that might seem good. That may seem like the light. Right, on the carnal level, all the women, the clothes, the jewelry, the rapping, and all the wickedness on the left-hand side, that may seem good. But again, that true light, that's nothing to be compared to the light of this world.
Right.
So let's read.
It's the book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 7 and verse 15.
No.
God had granted me to speak as I would, and to conceive as I meet for the things that are given me. Because it is he that leadeth unto wisdom and directeth the wise. For in his hand are both we and our words. Verse 10. I loved her above health and beauty, and chose to have her instead of light.
Right, talking about wisdom. He said, I chose to have wisdom instead of the light. Again, what's that light? The light of this world. You know what?
For the light that cometh from her,
For the light that comes out of wisdom. That light that comes from this truth. That light that comes from Yahushua and his spirit. You know what?
never goeth out.
Never what?
Never goeth out.
So that real light that comes from the Lord, that's never going to go out. That's why the Lord said a man's wisdom maketh his face to shine. That's like a light bulb. Every Jay got that one light bulb that he just keep on in his house. Right? You never changed it before, it just never goes out. And that's how wisdom is. Wisdom, once you obtain her, once you obtain the spirit of Yahushua, you're never going to lose it, as long as you stay diligent, fervent. And again, how do you get that light? You get that light by keeping the law, by walking in the ordinances. And you use that light to pave the way for the Lord. Again, like how Jeremiah did, like how John did. Give me Jeremiah chapter 1 and verse number 5. Right, Jeremiah 1 and 5. And again, we are spiritual ambassadors for Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. 1 minute, brother, for the Lord.
Hey, brother.
Come learn that light, brother. Read this.
The book of Jeremiah.
You said what? They gonna yell and then peel around the corner. Read this.
It's the book of Jeremiah, chapter 1 and verse 5.
No.
Before I formed thee in the belly, I knew thee. And before thou camest forth out of the womb, I sanctified thee. And I ordained thee a prophet unto the nations. Then said I, Lord God, behold, I cannot speak, for I am a child. But the Lord said unto me, say not, I am a child, for thou shalt go to all that I shall send thee, and and whatsoever I command thee, thou shalt speak.
So the Lord said he's going to send out Jeremiah into the midst of a nation, into the midst of the nations, and whatever he gives in the spirit of Jeremiah, he has to speak that. Jeremiah didn't have an option or a choice, but again, Jeremiah, he was the ambassador on the spiritual level. Again, being sent out and you doing the work. Give me hold that. Give me 2 Timothy chapter 4, verse number 5. All right, that's you doing the work of the Lord, being an evangelist. Being sent out, letting that light so forth shine amongst the inhabitants. And like we always say, if we don't let that light shine, that light is not going to get pushed out.
Right.
And if that light is not pushed out, we're going to forever dwell in darkness.
Right.
Read this.
2 Timothy chapter 4 and verse 5.
Bring it out.
But watch thou in all things, endure afflictions, do the work of an evangelist.
Right? And an evangelist is someone that travels and does the work. The Lord said, do the work of an evangelist. And when you're evangelizing, you're traveling. That's another way for you to put forth that light throughout the four corners. You got something called gifts. Right? There's many gifts. There's many different spirits that the Lord has in the third heavens that He gives to His servants to do, to make sure that light gets pushed out. All right, give me Romans chapter 12 and verse number 4. Right, Romans chapter 12 and verse 4. And again, all these things is to make sure that this light of the world is dimming while the light of Yahweh Shah is increasing day by day. Read this. 1 minute for the Lord, sisters.
Look at Romans chapter 12 and verse 4. For us, we have many members in one body, and all members have not the same office.
The Lord said all members have not the same office. Right, and when you read the Chronicles, right, First Chronicles, the 20th chapter, all the way to the 29th chapter, you see how David had many offices in his kingdom. He had treasurers, he had singers, he had men that just sang for the Lord. He had men that were so-called bodyguards for him. So David had a lot going on in his kingdom. David had plenty of offices. Same way right now, how the Lord has plenty of offices and gifts lined up.
Right.
But they're all the what? Read on.
For as we have many members in one body, and all members have not the same office, so we, being many, are one body in Hamashiach, and every one members one of another, having then gifts differing according to the grace that is given to us. Whether prophecy, let us prophesy according to the proportion of faith.
And all these gifts is to do one thing, which is to become now one body of the Lord and magnify His name.
Right.
Right. You got the gift, and when you read this chapter, it goes into the different gifts which men have. Right. Same thing. I believe that's 1 Corinthians, go to 1 Corinthians 12, and verse number 1. I believe 1 Corinthians the 12th chapter it goes as well into different gifts that men have to have. And again, all these gifts is to let your light so forth shine amongst men.
Right.
That the Most High and all may be magnified and glorified.
Right.
Read this.
It's the book of 1 Corinthians chapter 12 and verse 1.
Bring it out.
Now concerning spiritual gifts, brethren, I would not have you ignorant. Ye know that you were Gentiles, carried away unto these dumb idols, even as you were led. Wherefore I give you to understand that no man speaking by the Spirit of God calleth Yahweh Shai accursed, and that no man can say that Yahweh Shai is the Lord, but by the Holy Ghost. Now there are diversities of gifts, but the same Spirit.
So the Lord said there's diversities of gifts, but it's all under one Spirit. It's all in the same Spirit. What's the ways to let your light shine so Yahweh Shai and all can be magnified and glorified.
Right.
Read Matthew chapter 5 and 16. Class. Right, Matthew chapter 5 and verse number 16. That's the whole reason why we out here. Right, prophesying to the wind. All right, doing these different things that may seem odd to the world, but on a spiritual level, it's bringing forth more light than this world can ever bring forth.
Right.
And we get Baruch chapter 4 and verse number 3.
Bring it out.
Right, Baruch chapter 4 and verse 2 actually.
That's the book of Matthew chapter 5 and verse 16.
Bring it out.
Let your light so shine before men.
The Lord said,
Let your light so shine before men.
oh, cover it up.
Let your light so shine before men.
The Lord said, let your light so shine before men. And that's in all things, all places. Now, you can't be that brother that's at the workplace, tucking in the fringes, right, trying to cover them up. You see a pretty sister, you cover up the fringes. You start changing how you talk. You just dim your light. No, the Lord said, let your light so forth shine before men. All right, sisters start wearing pants all of a sudden. That's all. So again, this thing, you want to make sure that that light and all things is shining, not giving a damn about what the world may think.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, we answer to who? The Most High. Read this.
Let your light so shine before men, that they may see your good works and glorify your Father, which is in heaven.
In all things, it always goes back to the glorification of the Most High, to the praising of the Most High, to the honoring of the Most High. Give me that Baruch chapter 4 and verse 2.
The book of Baruch, chapter 4 and verse 2. Turn thee, O Jacob, and take hold of it. Walk in the presence of the light thereof, that thou mayest be illuminated.
The Lord told Jacob, and that's a commandment. That's a commandment to walk in the light that we may be illuminated. Right? When you go into that word illuminated, it means to bear light. So we're Lucifer on the right-hand side, in a sense. Because what does Lucifer mean? Lucifer just means the morning star, right? To bear that light. We're bearing that light on the right-hand side. And again, it's up to the inhabitants of the earth, namely the children of Israel, what you want to choose.
Right.
You want to choose that that light that's on the right-hand side, or choose that light on the left-hand side.
Right.
Because on the deeper level, that light that's on the left-hand side, that's really darkness. And you're trying to flee away from that light to flee into that darkness, like a damn rodent, like a raccoon. You just been a spiritual raccoon.
Right.
A spiritual bat, you just nocturnal on a spiritual level. Only come out in the dark. But when that light so forth shines, and nowhere to be found.
Right.
All right, give me that Isaiah 14 and verse 12, class. Isaiah 14 and 12. So again, you got two different lights. It's either you cleave into the light of this world, or you're going to cleave into the light of Yahushua. Read this.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 14 and verse 12.
How
art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning?
And again, Lucifer just means light bearer. Right? Everyone in this world has a specific light that they so forth shine. Your light has to be added into the light of the Lord to make sure that shine is that much more brilliant, is that much more magnified. Because if you're not doing that, then you're bearing that light to Satan's kingdom, and you're letting the kingdom of Satan, the so-called white man, just have all the preeminence, which is off. And you're letting Satan get all the glory and all the light. Hey, brother, you back? Read this. And that brother has the light on the left-hand side. Read this.
O Lucifer, son of the morning, how art thou cut down to the ground, which dost weaken the nations? For thou hast said in thine heart, I will ascend into heaven.
When we go into the context, Lucifer in that context is the king of Babylon. And the king of Babylon on this level right here, that's ruling America, that's ruling this world, he's going to be cut down the same way. We know?
I will ascend into heaven. I will exalt my throne above the stars of God. I will sit also upon the mount of the congregation in the sides of the north. I will ascend above the heights of the clouds. I will be like the Most High.
And again, when you're giving your light and your strength to this kingdom, that's what you're saying. You're feeding on to the propaganda of the so-called white man in these other nations.
Right.
You're forgetting about the works of your Lord, your King. You know?
I will be like the Most High. Yet thou shalt be brought down to hell, to the sides of the pit. They that see thee shall narrowly look upon thee, and consider thee saying, is this a man that made the earth to tremble?
And again, that light, give me Job chapter 10 and verse 22. That light is eventually going to be cut down and turned off by the Most High. All right, give me Job chapter 10 and verse number 22. So again, the Lord, give me, look at hold that, give me Deuteronomy 30 and 19, the class. All right, as a matter of fact, Deuteronomy 30 and 19. Okay.
It's the book of Job chapter 10 and verse 22.
Bring it out.
A land of darkness, as darkness itself.
Right, which is this place right here. And again, that's how you know that this place is nothing but an illusion. Because Job, he called this place a land of darkness, as darkness itself. Yet in another context, you read about this place being the light of the world. That shows the illusion of how this place is really it's really dark on a deeper level. Yeah, you got the so-called the bright lights, the glory. Everyone wants to come to America, serve the so-called white man and his philosophies. But the Lord said that this place is really darkness.
Right.
And when you're in darkness, you don't know what you're doing. Right? You don't know where you're going. You don't know which way to go. It's literally all an illusion. You got those so-called traps for these different insects. You got the light. Then the insects that flee to that light. Then once they touch the light, it then zap them and they get killed. That's how this world is on a spiritual level. Everyone's fleeing into that wrong light until they cleave unto it, and then the Lord take their spirit. All right, we going?
A land of darkness, as darkness itself, and of the shadow of death, without any order, and where the light is as darkness.
Yeah, where that light is as darkness. Go back to Deuteronomy 30:19.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 30, and verse 19.
Bring it out.
I call heaven and earth to record this day against you. That I have set before you life and death.
Hey, brother, 1 minute for the Lord to learn about life and death. Come on, brother, 1 minute. Read that again.
To record this day against you, that I have set before you life and death, blessing and cursing. Therefore, choose life, that both thou and thy seed may live.
That's playing upon tables. Again, you got all these different lights, right? Really only got two lights: the light of this world and the light of the Lord. The Lord said, "Choose life." What is choosing life? That's following the ordinance. That's following the ordinances of the Most High. Coming back to your nationality, coming back to your heritage, making sure that you're doing these different things that the Lord and all may be magnified and glorified. We doing? Actually, give me Proverbs 72. You can drop that. Give me Proverbs 72.
The book of Proverbs, chapter 7, and verse number 2.
Bring it out.
Keep my commandments and live. And my law is the apple of thine eye. Right? The Lord said, keep my commandments and live, and the law as the apple of thine eye. So the Lord is dealing with brothers keeping the law, keeping the commandments, which is that life. Like what we read in Deuteronomy, the 30th chapter. And again, how many people in this world is letting their life shine by doing so? Alright, letting their life shine by being running friendly. Right. Letting their life shine by loving their brother in their heart. Right. Letting their life shine by serving the Most High.
Right.
And before camp, I got stopped at the so-called grocery store. Right? Somebody seen a friend and just like, okay, I got support for you. Right? That's what you call letting your light shine before the Lord. Letting your light shine before men, that the Most High law may be magnified and glorified. So again, and that's the whole purpose, honestly. That's the whole purpose of being a servant. Being that spirit of John the Baptist and being that ambassador before the Lord. Right? Being the book of Ephesians, chapter 6 and verse 20.
Bring it out.
For which I am an ambassador in bonds, that therein I may speak boldly as I ought to speak.
Right, he said we are ambassadors in bonds. And again, we're the men and the servants that go out to be the ambassadors. What if the Lord just had no ambassador? Just no one under him to bring forth that preeminence before he comes. That's all. Right, the Lord has to have someone, again, like how John the Baptist was, to be able to be sent out and sent forth. To be like this, like that. Micah, chapter 5, and verse number 1.
Bring it out.
Now gather thyself in truth, O daughter of truth.
Right.
He hath laid siege against us. Verse 3. Therefore will he give them up until the time that she which travaileth had brought forth.
Bring it out.
the spirit of the prophets of old and through a service now can be fulfilled. All right, Lord, and also on another level, so nobody can say that they never knew. Or you got men saying, okay, well, I didn't. You gonna have men in the last day saying, I never got a chance.
Right.
Like no one ever told me about this. I never got a chance to hear the word. Well, hold on, the Lord he sent forth his messengers for the four corners of the earth.
Right.
To prophesy the downfall of the different nations, to let them know about the return of the Lord. To let the tribes know, hey, that yes, you do have a king. A so-called black man is coming back to right.
Right.
So again, the Lord, he's going to send us out so people in that day, being the just Lord that he is, so nobody can say that they never got a chance, that they never knew about it. Right, read on.
I will send my messenger, and he shall prepare the way before me.
Right.
And the Lord, whom ye seek, shall suddenly come to his temple.
Right, and the Lord's going to suddenly come and rain hellfire on this earth and set up his throne, his kingdom, and his dominion. Give me 2 Ezra chapter 1, verse 37. Right, 2 Ezra chapter 1, verse 37. Right, and it's not just us, but the Lord has the prophets of old left on earth. Men around the four corners of the earth doing the same thing, preparing the way for the Lord, as being those ambassadors.
2 Ezra chapter 1 and verse 37.
We go.
I take to witness the grace of the people to come, right? Whose little ones rejoice in gladness. And though they have not seen me with bodily eyes, yet in spirit they believe the things that I say. And now, brothers, behold what glory, and see the people that coming from the east, unto whom I will give for leaders. Abraham.
The Lord said, in whom I will give for leaders. Talking about in the last days, the Lord's going to set up leaders, the shepherds, righteous men, to lead the people and guide the sheep in righteousness to prepare that way for the Lord. Let's see these leaders that's back on the earth.
I will give for leaders.
Right?
Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob.
Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob that's on the earth. Come on.
Hosea, Amos, and Micaiah, Joel,
Right, Michael, Joel, Amos, Noah,
Abdias, and Jonah.
Obadiah, Jonah, different men that we read about in the scriptures. Right, coming back on the earth to furthermore what? Pave out that way. That's how you know that this ministry is actually the real work.
Right.
Right, you got men in the Christian church, they're not paving the way for the Lord. They're sitting back with their feet on, just spreading forth lies. I was talking to my step granddad or something like that. And he kind of said he was a pastor. All of a sudden he a pastor, right? He just came back home, damn stabbing up this woman getting into the fight. Now all of a sudden he a pastor, right? Nevertheless, I was talking to him. He said he's a so-called pastor. I said I know that's a so-called good deed. I know that that's also a job that the church, they got to take care of you. And I asked him, do we make good money from the church? And he said he made good money from the church. I was kind of calling him just to try to see what he'll say. He just fell right into it. He said, yeah, the church pay me well. The church pay you well. That's all. That's weird. What's that kind of Paul saying? Yeah, y'all pay me. Hey, Paul had to get them in.
Right.
Because they wasn't giving on. Next thing you know, the church paying you well. You pull up the building on the phone. Damn, it's a damn big ass just church. That's out of nowhere. So you know, that's how you know that this truth, this ministry with the real men of the Lord coming out, paving the way. That's how you know that this is the real work. Right? Where's the kind of Jeremiah sitting in the church? Jeremiah had to travel to Egypt to preach to wicked men. Right? Ezekiel in captivity, Daniel in captivity, having to do the work. Isaiah. All right, read on.
Nahum and Habakkuk.
Right, Nahum and Habakkuk.
Zephaniah and Gaius.
Right, and when you read these books, when you read about these different men, you can see the spirit that they had and how they were sent out by the Lord. All right, read on. And the same way how we're sent out through the Spirit, not just us, but again, the whole, the so-called, like how they say, the so-called movement, which is the Lord waking up the 12 tribes. See how the servants of the Lord are moving in the same spirit of these same men
that's being named right.
Right.
You know?
Zechariah and Malachi, which is called also an angel of the Lord.
Right, and we read Malachi, I think that's the third chapter, verse 1. He was called the angel. He was called that messenger that was sent out by the Lord. The same way how we're those messengers and how these messengers are back on the earth doing the exact same thing. In Revelation 10, verse number 9. Right, Revelation chapter 10 and verse number 9. So the Lord has these same men, these same messengers back on the earth to do the works of old all over again.
Right.
Let's read this.
The book of Revelation, chapter 10, in verse number 9.
Right.
Yo. And I went unto the angel and said unto him, give me the little book. And he said unto me, take it and eat it up, and it shall make thy belly bitter, but it shall be in thy mouth sweet as honey. And I took the little book out of the angel's hand and ate it up, and it was in my mouth sweet as honey. And as soon as I had eaten it, my belly was bitter. And he said unto me, thou must prophesy again.
So the Lord is telling John the Baptist, he's going to be doing the same thing how the Lord just named in 2nd Ezra, the first chapter, and that's going to come back and do the work. He said John the Baptist in the same, John the Revelator, in the same spirit, he's going to come back and do the work again. Now let's see if he's going to be sitting in the church, or in his closet, or on a live stream, this type of let's see what he's going to do. You know?
Thou must prophesy again before many people.
So the Lord said, John, when he comes back on the earth, he's going to prophesy again before many people. In order to prophesy again like they did of old, turn the book of Acts. We had the apostles was outside doing the work, traveling 24/7, fervent in the spirit. Being that spiritual ambassador, that evangelist, those disciples and apostles being sent out to doing the work the same way how the men of the Lord and so-called 2024 is doing. You know?
Before many peoples and nations and tongues and kings.
Right? And it's going to be prophesying against nations, kings, and prophesying in the different tongues as well.
Right.
So again, what is the account of these leaders of this world doing these different things? Again, you got men that call themselves pastors that say they so-called lead the sheep. Give me Jeremiah 10 and 21. All right, let's get Jeremiah 10 and 21. Right, and it's sad how much lies is being pushed forth in the last days. Nevertheless, the Lord, He has righteousness reigning throughout the four corners of the earth to bring forth that true light, that true righteousness is the Lord. You know what I mean?
Jeremiah chapter 10 and verse 21.
Look it out.
For the pastors are become brutish.
And then for the Lord, brother.
I think we had a conversation. You guys didn't like what I had to say
When?
earlier.
Well, let's talk about it, brother. Sound like a trash.
I didn't do respect and that's the inspiration of what you guys are doing. I'm going to stress the problem.
We're going to talk about the Lord real quick, brother. About Christ.
I'm kind of cold. I'm kind of hungry now. So what's going on?
We're not going to make it long for you, brother. It's the real food.
Yeah.
Now, do you believe in the Bible?
Huh?
Do you believe in the Bible?
Oh, gosh, that gets a little controversial.
Why is that?
Because I was raised in the Christian church, right? But there's a logical mind too. So I believe in spirituality and not religion.
Okay, now, I agree with you to an extent. Now, the Christian church, now we don't deal with the Christian church. The Christian church has done this to our people. Exactly. So we don't deal with Christianity.
That was not our religion, was it?
It was never, Christianity was never our religion.
Yeah.
Now, us being Christians, serving a so-called blanket with what we call Christ, we go into the history, our people, they've always done it. Now, like you said, Christianity, that's all. Now, we believe in history. Now, the Bible, one thing that the church will never tell you is that this Bible is not a book of religion. It's actually a history book. Now, every nation, they have their own history. You go to different schools, the East Indian, he has his history. So-called white man, he got his history books that you learned about. If I was to ask you what's the history book of the so-called black man, what book would you point to?
I guess I'd have to go and
Records?
visit the African continent someplace through history. Because we're not going to necessarily find it here. Maybe the museum in D.C. has some stuff now. You know, the Afro History Museum in D.C. They got a lot of stuff there. Maybe. I'm not
Now, what you're going to come to find out, brother, is that those places you can find scattered like this, but the Bible in its entirety is actually a book that was written by so-called black people, but the Lord called them the Israelites.
Right.
We read this book, it lines up with the life that we live today. For example, give me Jeremiah 17 and verse 2. We read the life about the Israelites, how they were God's chosen people. The Lord created them to be his favorite, right? That's the so-called Old Testament. The Lord, he created them to be above all people from the face of the earth. But they end up going against God, and the Lord sent them at the bottom of society.
Right.
Let's read Jeremiah 17.
Jeremiah chapter 17 and verse 4.
Pick it out.
And thou, even thyself, shall discontinue from thine heritage that I gave you.
So Jeremiah is talking to the nation of Israel. The Lord told the Israelites that they're going to discontinue from their heritage, that the Lord is going to cut them off from knowing what land they originally came from, the flag that they had, the foods that they ate, their ancient languages, songs, and customs. The Lord is going to cut them off from all of it. Also ask what nation of people was cut off from their heritage, what nation of people was us. No doubt about it. But here it is, years ago. Some nation of people was prophesied to have their nation cut off. You know what?
So discontinue from thy heritage that I gave you, and I will cause thee to serve thine enemy.
Hold on, this same nation of people that just got cut off, they're gonna serve their enemies. What does it sound like to serve their enemies? Or you're gonna be lorded. Now, why is this written in the Bible? These are questions we gotta ask ourselves. Another question is, why did the church never bring this up? School system, why did they never bring this up? It's not like it's secret. They don't want us to do it.
Right.
But the truth is, brother, that you are the people that's talking about this Bible.
Right.
It's gonna show you.
It's the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 48.
Pick it out.
We're gonna be cut off and we're gonna serve our enemies. It's gonna show you how we serve our enemies. Or how we serve our enemies for free.
Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemy,
Right?
which the Lord shall send against thee
You know what?
in hunger.
So, for an example, the one way how you're gonna serve your enemy is going to them when you're hungry. One nation of people own all the food systems, the water, the stores, the grocery stores. Is it our people that own these type of entities? Own Starbucks? No. So the Lord said we're gonna serve our enemies at home. And every hungry going to their stores. And let's say it is so-called black owned. Or eventually go to something that is black owned. The meats that is buying from is from another nation. The building you have to buy from someone else. You know what?
And in thirst, and in nakedness.
In thirst, and your bottle of water, your Gatorade, you're gonna have to go to another people. And then nakedness, your clothing. Again, let's say you do got so-called black owned clothing. The materials, the textiles, it all goes back to like you go to another nation to get to say a so-called thing. And these different things, the Lord is talking to the Israelites. But we're seeing it in history relating it to our people. But this is the truth. That's the thing. The church does. They don't teach the Bible. They may open it. They may read one verse to make you feel good. And then they play that music, let the drums going. Then they start acting. They got the damn cross, and you got the fake Jesus, so-called white man on the cross. They make you feel good. But last time I checked, the truth is supposed to hurt you. The truth is supposed to hit your soul different and to make your mind make you think. Church don't make you think. I'm going to feel good to get a false sense of reality of what it's like a drug. They smoke weed to get that false sense of relief. Then once you get back sober, you're back in that sorrowful mind state. Same thing with church. Go to church, feel good, go back home, you gotta pay bills. Then gave all your tithes and your money to the pastor, the message, you just going into that.
It's really tough trying to put them on, trying to help people with right. And so that's why I say I admire what you guys do, that you're trying to help people wake up to some truth. And enough of us aren't open-minded enough to really even consider another possibility because we have been brainwashed and cultivated to close our minds. So
appreciate you for stopping.
So when I walked by earlier, I was in a very deep place. So I made a statement about some of the guys. So I'm a little, I kind of hard to explain. You kind of see God in everything, but and
What do you mean by that?
well, what I mean by that is it's kind of hard. My little mind can't fathom what God is. But I tell you what I know, it's not some white man hanging on the cross.
Sure.
Okay, not that. All right, but that's what we've been conditioned to believe and act on. All right, and so I know for a fact it's not that. Are you guys out here often?
Oh, we out here every Friday.
Every Friday?
Yeah, every
Okay.
Friday at 6:30 until probably about 2 hours, 3
Okay.
hours.
All right.
So, and that's right, brother. I'm gonna get one more verse before you pull off. Like
Sure.
you said, so-called white men him down.
It's a loss. You got the tribes over here. People talk about sometimes. I'm gonna ask you a question right quick before you get to your verse. People talk something. I hear people say something like the lost tribe of Judah. What was the tribe of Judah about?
So when you go into the tribe of Judah, Judah was the top tribe. And like you said, I think you believe in history. We even went to the history about the West Shores of Africa. We had a place called Negro Land. Within Negro Land, well, you look at Negro Land, you see a specific area that was named Judah. Now, Judah, we read Psalm 76 verse 1. Judah was one of the sons of Israel. Modern day, that would be us, the so-called black people.
Right.
We go into that area of Israel, exactly that area. Originally, it was dark-skinned people, our ancestors. You read about the different wars that went on, like 70 AD, the siege, where the Romans, they kicked out the Jews. The Jews had to flee into West Africa, and that's how we got to America. We grew up in West Africa from being kicked out of our homeland by the Romans. Then from there, we went into slavery by way of slave shipping, and now we're in America. But originally, Judah is the top tribe that the Lord created.
Right.
Greek is real good.
This is the book of Psalms, chapter 76 and verse 1.
Get out.
In Judah is God known.
So that's why the so-called black man, everyone looks up to the so-called black man when it comes to style, fashion, music. The Lord said his spirit is within the tribe of Judah. You know?
His name is great in Israel.
Jeremiah 14 is the last verse. So not only is Judah the top tribe, skin complexion, other tribes of Judah is mentioned out in the Bible. You got Israelis that's over there in Israel saying that they're the real Jews, that they're the real Israelites. How the hell did the so-called white man, somehow he's a Jew, somehow he's the Egyptian,
Right.
he's the last samurai,
Right.
he's just everything. So that's, but again, that's why you got to go back to the Bible. The Bible is the truth. And this is a part that they'll never read in the Bible or in schools.
This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 14 and verse number 2.
Bring it out.
Judah mourning, and the gates thereof language.
It said Judah mourning. Mourning means to be sad. Why? It said Judah is sad. First of all, to start with, why is Judah sad? We're supposed to be the top people. But we're sad and we're mourning because of the affliction that we're going through. So Judah's in mourning. You know?
They are black.
They are what?
They are black.
The color of the real Jews?
They are black.
So the Lord said the color of the real Jews, they're actually so-called black people. That's why you see on that sign.
I have another question for you since I asked you about Judah. So.
Right. But does that make sense to you?
It does. It makes a whole bunch of sense. So,
Let me change this.
get out.
So again, the first step to change it is to know what the problem is. How do we get to this low part of society? What the hell happened? How do we end up go from being kings, God's chosen, to being Negroes at the bottom of society? It's gonna show you. Let's see.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28 and verse 15.
Bring it out.
But it shall come to pass,
Right?
if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God.
This is Moses talking to the Israelites. This is a message that God gave to us. If you don't listen to God, you know what?
To observe to do all his
If
commandments.
you don't keep my commandments, love your brother as yourself. Stop getting pork. Serve me with all your heart and all your soul. Don't serve other gods, other nations. You know what?
And his statutes, which I command thee this day.
If you don't do these things, what's going to happen?
all these
What the
curses,
Lord say?
All these curses.
Generational curses.
all these curses,
We got something called generational curses that's placed on our people. Right? Slavery, Jim Crow era, to this modern day shot down by police. The Lord said all these curses, Lord,
shall come upon thee and overtake
they're
thee.
going to be overtaken with curses if you don't listen to God. Again, you got some now this is how you know that the Bible is real, and that is our book. Before even picking up the Bible, this term of generational curse is always placed upon our people. Long before that, Moses was already talking about if you don't listen to God, curses are going to come upon you. It's going to say how long these curses are going to be upon us. Look at verse 47. Let's see how long these curses are going to be upon so-called black people.
Verse number 46.
No.
46.
And they shall be upon thee for a sign,
Right?
and for a wonder,
Right?
and upon thy seed forever.
So these curses are going to be for signs to know who God is, for a wonder to wonder why the hell are these people going through this, and upon our seed, our kids and our lineage forever. Why is it going to be forever until we come back to the Lord? Makes sense? All praise to the Most High. We got a
I'll
part.
stop by to see you guys sometime, all right?
All right. And brother, remember that first encounter, that was just out of love, brother. That's just out of love. So I love you, brother. You're a king. All praise to the Most High.
Gone.
Let's go to Sirach 43 and 30. Right, Sirach 43. All praise to the Most High.
The book of Sirach, chapter 43 and verse 30.
Right.
Now, when he glorify Yahweh, exalt him as much as he can.
Right?
For even yet we far exceed.
Lord,
And when ye exalt him, put forth all your strength.
the Lord say,
Put forth all your strength.
have fast.
Put forth all your
Be
strength.
weary.
Put forth all your strength.
Read.
And be not weary.
Right?
For you can never go far enough.
And no man can never go far enough when it comes to serving the true God, Yahweh. That's
That's right.
Rule 428.
Gone.
That's
Book
the
of
whole.
Baruch.
That's the whole purpose of we come out. Again, imagine
Right.
if we wasn't out here, he still would have been lost, believing in the spirituality of the left-hand side,
Right.
just saying God is in all things. And then the brother came up, he came back through his spirit, almost walked away. Then he got that sincere milk, that sincere word
God.
that his spirit has really been longing and looking for. Let's read this.
Baruch, chapter 4 and verse 28.
Bring it out.
For as it was your mind to go astray from Yahweh,
Right?
so being returned, seek him 10 times more.
What the Lord say?
Seek him 10 times more.
It's lawful.
Seek him 10 times more.
Read.
For he that brought thee plagues upon you,
For the same God that brought these plagues upon us for going off, for sinning, for committing trespass, you know?
shall bring you everlasting joy again.
Hey, that same God is going to bring the joy and everlasting life again.
Right.
With that, Kwam Yashalom.
Kwam Yashalom.
Kwam Yashalom.
Kwam Yashalom.
Kwam Yashalom.
Kwam Yashalom.